Fauci or John Bolton?
No. You know, they all made a lot of money. They can hire their own security, too.
I don't want to look up on the wall and go, what is it, a pardon? I don't want my doctor to have a pardon letter on his wall. Why the f*** would you pardon Dr. Fauci? What the f*** did Dr. Fauci do to us?
That, you know, they call it the Biden crime family. If they weren't the crime family, why do they need pardons, right?
They took animal viruses that only occur in animals, and they increased their transmissibility to humans. How you can say that is not gain of function?
It is not. What we're talking about now is the gain of function research in studies that increase predominantly the transmissibility as well as pathogenesis and alteration of host range of the virus.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope all's good wherever you are. In this video, we have a great compilation of Fauci's lies. It was put together by Gradient. Terrific video. We have Donald Trump removing the security detail of Anthony Fauci, who should be in jail. This guy is a proper scumbag. Michael Rappaport, a raging lib with TDS, finally realizing that he might have been lied to this whole time. Let's get it.
Security detail for Anthony Fauci was terminated last night, and I'm wondering if you have any comment on that.
About what?
The security detail for Anthony Fauci was terminated last night, sir. Do you have a comment?
No, I think, you know, when you work for government, at some point your security detail comes off. And, you know, you can't have them forever. So I think it's very standard. If it would be for somebody else, you wouldn't be asking the question. The question is very fair. But, you know, you work for government. We took some off, other people too. But you can't have a security detail for the rest of your life because you work for government. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Would you feel partially responsible if something would happen to, say, Dr. Fauci
No.
or John Bolton?
No. You know, they all made a lot of money. They can hire their own security too. All the people you're talking about, they can go out. I can give them some good numbers of very good security people. They can hire their own security. They all made a lot of money. Fauci made a lot of money. They all did. So if they, you know, felt that strongly, I think that certainly I would not take responsibility.
Cadaver Joe Biden, smoking Joe Biden, pardon Dr. Fauci. Why would Cadaver Joe Biden pardon the world's most famous doctor? And there's a lot of famous doctors. There's Dr. J, there's Dr. Pepper, Dr. Scholes, Dr. Seuss, Dr. Strangelove, Dr. Feelgood. Why would you pardon Dr. Fauci? What kind of a doctor has a pardon? When I go to a doctor's office and I look on their wall while I'm waiting to have my consultation, I want to see degrees. This medical school, he went to a Columbia Medical School, Cornell Medical School. He studied this kind of medicine, that kind of medicine. I want to see pictures of him on vacation with his kids. I want to see a picture of him with his grandkids in Aruba. I want to see success. I don't want to look up on the wall and go, what is it, a pardon? I don't want my doctor to have a pardon letter on his wall. Why the f*** would you pardon Dr. Fauci? What the f*** did Dr. Fauci do to us? When I go into a doctor's office, I don't want anything. When I'm going into my colonoscopy, if I'm laying down about to get my colonoscopy and I'm looking up at the doctor and I see a pardon, a letter of pardon, I'm like, what the fuck did you do? Why you got that letter up there? Stop the procedure. Stop. I'm getting up off the table. You're getting heart surgery and they give you that medicine, that Michael Jackson. The last thing you want to see before you go out to get heart surgery, brain surgery, kidney transplant, or anything is a letter of pardoning from your doctor. What the f*** did Dr. Fauci do that he needs pardoning? If he didn't do anything, he wouldn't need pardoning.
But Fauci took the pardon. Fauci could say, I don't want the pardon. I don't think I did anything wrong. But he took the pardon.
I don't blame anybody for taking a pardon.
I do, because now you're guilty. Because there are a lot of people that were on the January 6th committee that were offered a pardon, and they said no. They're like, I did my job. I was supposed to investigate this. I did what I was supposed to do. I don't want the pardon.
If you're Fauci, you're not taking a pardon?
What's in my arm, yo?
What's in your arm, not mine.
That's what I'm saying. What's in my arm, yo? Why are you taking a pardon? What's in my arm, yo?
I don't care.
What's in my arm?
I'm taking that part. I don't give a fuck.
If I put some shit in my arm, you're not allowed to get pardoned. You told me I need to put some shit in my arm. Now you can't go get pardoned. You gotta hold the weight of that decision. That's your job. What's in my arm, yo?
I mean,
What's about to come out?
you ain't wrong. Like it looks a suspect. It definitely looks crazy suspect.
I think it's because they lied about knowing it was a man-made virus, knowing it came from China, whatever. They were lying about the origins of it. That's what my first thought. Could be the vaccine too, but I tend to think they covered up when they knew where it was from.
Yeah. You lie about one thing, you lie about the other. All of a sudden, you got to keep lying to keep up the lie. There's a lot of lies going on. What's in my arm, man? What is inside my arm?
But you good.
What's in my arm?
Mr. Speaker, to potentially have any type of congressional action on the pardons that President Biden issued over the last couple of days?
It was shocking. I mean, it was shocking what President Biden did on the way out, pardoning his family for more than a decade of whatever activity, any nonviolent offenses. It was breathtaking to us. I don't think that's anything like that's ever been anticipated. And by the way, go look at the tape. 4 years ago, when it was just implied that President Trump might do something similar, they were apoplectic. Joe Biden himself, Adam Schiff, Chuck Schumer, roll the tape. They all said that would be crazy and unconscionable, and now they're cheering it along. To us, it is disgusting. To us, it probably proves the point, the suspicion that, they call it the Biden crime family. If they weren't the crime family, why do they need pardons, right? Look, there's a lot of attention that's going to be paid to this, and I think that is appropriate, and we will be looking at it as well. So, yeah.
It's funny to me, people like Anthony Fauci, who should be in jail, is a proper criminal. What's this guy worth? Got to be worth over $5 million, over $10 million probably. Probably got a bunch of money stacked away from what the WHO would have gave him. Pay your own security. Same with John Bolton. John Bolton's like 70, 80 years old, maybe 75 years old. The guy's got tons of cash. Why are the American people flipping the bill for the deep state guys like John Bolton to have security detail? Get your own shit. Now let's get to a compilation by Gradient. They did a terrific, terrific job here of exposing Anthony Fauci. Let's go.
But they're really criticizing science because I represent science.
If you're vaccinated, you really don't need to worry about getting it in a way that's serious or transmitting it.
That is true. That is correct, Chris. It'll either protect you completely against infection, and the chances are very likely that you'll not be able to transmit it to other people. The risk is extremely low of transmitting it to anybody else. Full stop. Vaccinated people are clearly capable of transmitting the infection. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better. If people are not wearing masks, then maybe we should be mandating it. I often myself wear 2 masks.
And I'm quoting you now, at the population level, masks work at the margins maybe 10%. To hear that they only work at the margins maybe 10% would make a lot of people ask, okay, then why was I wearing a mask?
You're really attacking not only Dr. Anthony Fauci, you're attacking science when you say that this is going to go away tomorrow like magic, when you know that there's no chance it's going to just disappear. We hope this just goes away, burns itself out.
So my question is, why weren't you straight with the American people about this to begin with?
So the bottom line is, it's a guesstimate. I gave a range.
It seemed in that quote to suggest that you were basing your recommendation on polling and what people could accept. Is that not what you meant?
No, I mean, it's a bit of that.
We're seeing all of these school closures around the country. Is that the right move for children and families?
And I think what's going on right now is generally an appropriate approach. You want to start doing something to socially distance yourself. How dramatic that is, closing schools and doing other things, should be proportionate.
It went too far, that particularly for kids who couldn't go to school except remotely, that it's forever damaged them.
Well, I don't think it's forever irreparably damaged anyone.
The U.S. Surgeon General has called it an urgent public health crisis, a devastating decline in the mental health of kids across the country. According to the CDC, the rates of suicide, self-harm, anxiety, and depression are up among adolescents.
And the record will show, Neil, that we didn't recommend shutting everything down. First of all, I didn't recommend locking anything down. I recommended to the president that we shut the country down. And that was a very difficult decision because I knew it would have serious economic consequences, which it did. Yeah. Because if you look at the people that are politicizing me, there's somebody that all the way over on one level But there are a lot of other people who look upon me the way they should, as a non-political person that I am.
They're not doing it because they say they don't want to do it. They're Republicans. They don't like to be told what to do. And we got to break that.
But now is the time to do what you're told.
Where did this virus come from, do you think, today? Did it come from a lab? Was it man-made?
When you have the animal-human interface, and you have animals that come out of the wild that are sold at these open, what they call them, wet markets.
Place of origin was not within the market itself.
No, I don't think you could say that.
There's a report today that another intelligence arm of the U.S. government, this is inside our energy department, has joined the FBI in concluding that COVID began with a lab leak in China.
That the NIH has not ever and does not now fund gain-of-function research in the Wuhan Institute.
We now know that a bat coronavirus was enhanced in a lab. The National Institutes of Health acknowledged that it funded research of a virus that was studied at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. The experiment unexpectedly, we're told, made a bat coronavirus more contagious than the original naturally occurring one.
Take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans.
Right.
You're saying that's not gain of function?
Yeah, that is correct. And Senator Paul, you do not know what you are talking about, quite frankly. And I want to say that officially. You do not know what you are talking about.
They took animal viruses that only occur in animals and they increased their transmissibility to humans. How you can say that is not gain of function?
It is not. What we're talking about now is the gain-of-function research in studies that increase predominantly the transmissibility as well as pathogenesis and alteration of host range of the virus. Nobody is lying here, Senator. It is you. I have to laugh at that.
He just kept on saying, you're wrong about hydroxychloroquine. In fact, as I describe in the book, he came into the Situation Room uninvited with a whole stack of papers, putting it on the table saying...
Can you do that? I thought the point of the Situation Room was not anyone can just walk in.
Well, he came in and said, these are the papers that say hydroxychloroquine works, and you have blood on your hands because you're saying you're keeping it for the American people, which actually even took the vice president aback and said, you know, Peter, I think you should take this outside. If you looked at Mark Short, who's a good guy, Mark looked at him like, what the heck are you doing here?
So the Vice President Pence basically thought, like a bouncer, like Peter Navarro, you should take it out.
Well, he told Peter, please take this outside. I mean, I give the vice president credit for doing that. That was just an interruption in a serious conversation.
Starting to see, as we're seeing virtually as the months go by, other groups that can be involved, and seeing it in children is really quite disturbing.
When you say other close contact, give me some examples.
Well, for example, if the close contact of a child is a household contact, perhaps there will be a certain number of cases of individuals who are just living with and in close contact with someone with AIDS or at risk of AIDS, who does not necessarily have to have intimate sexual contact or share a needle, but just the ordinary close contact that one sees in...
Yeah, Mike Johnson's saying that they're going to investigate this. I think they should investigate Biden. I think they should investigate Fauci. I think you put Pam Bondi and give her a little team of people. I think the American people have the right to know what these people did. If they're pardoned, maybe you can't do anything, but you can expose the crap out of them, and that's what we should do. The American taxpayer has a right to know what these evil SOBs have done. Now let's get to a compilation put together by Gradient.com. This is terrific, exposing all the lies of Anthony Fauci. There's no doubt in my mind that this guy should be in jail for life for what he's done. Let's go. You got to give it to Donald Trump, whether you like the guy or not. This guy ran on all these things, and in the last 3-4 days, he's done more of what he said he's going to do than Biden did in his whole 4 years. Anthony Fauci is somebody who should be in jail. There is no doubt about it. The left doesn't want to talk about this. They like to stick to their little talking point that is January 6th that they've been talking about for 4 years. But this is just to distract the American people of what the real issues are, which is the invasion of the southern border, these corrupt fools, the economy. This is what these people do. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that thumbs up button for your boy. Consider subscribing to the channel. Help it grow. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.